Okay guys, so let's get into this game. I'm just going to sort of explain some things as they go along, kind of show you a bit about the game and how it works, and then I'm just going to start playing it and we can see how we can get on with this. So, game's just started. We've just got our first pop-up notification. These things happen throughout the game sporadically when certain key events happen. Luckily enough, the era we're playing in at the moment, there's going to be a lot going on around us, so this is going to be quite cool. So, what has happened here is that Stannis Baratheon, he sent us a letter. So he's gone, Lord Leighton, I declare that my brother Robert left no trueborn issue of his body. The boy Joffrey, the boy Tormund, and the girl Marcella, being abominations of incest between Cersei Lannister and Sir Jaime the Kingslayer. By right of birth and blood, I do claim to the Iron Throne. Let all true men declare their loyalty. Signed, Stannis House Baratheon, the first of his name, King of the Andals, the Rondor, and the First Men, and Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. So, I've got two options here. I can either A, say, of course, I should have known. Or I can say it's all lies, of course. So, what will happen if I say, of course, I should have known? Well, people's opinions of me are going to change, and opinion is very important in this game, because the higher someone's opinion is for you, the more likely they are to do things for you. So, my opinion of King Joffrey will be minus 25 for the next 240 months. My opinion of Marcella is going to drop, and my opinion of Tormund's going to drop. So Stannis has prevented me with the following evidence. Now, okay, if you've read the book or the show, you know that yes, this is true. But sometimes people will just claim this stuff and you don't know it's true. So the evidence he's brought is that he argues they look nothing like their father, in that they all have golden hair and not the black hair of a true Baratheon. He reveals that Cersei and Lannister have been carrying out an affair. He also claims to have seen proof of their illegitimacy in the flames. Okay, so if this was someone else, we might, we know this is true, but if we didn't know this was true, we might be going, okay, well, he's saying that he's seeing this in the flames, so he's being a bit of a religious, so maybe he's a bit of a religious nut job. Maybe we don't want to, got to get careful about that. He reveals evidence of their affair, so you can't just go, hey, someone's having an affair, you've got to have evidence of it, but it could be fabricated, which is a thing that happens. And he argues they look nothing like their father, which is a big part of this game. This is a dynasty simulator. A lot of this is about having children and breeding, and whether or not your children do look like your children. Yeah, you'll see this as we go along. So what I'm going to do is, what's my opinion? See, he's got a low opinion of me anyway. It's got a minus 48. So I'm going to say, yeah, I should have known. We all know the Lannisters are like that. So we just all got this first declaration here. It's just to clarify who my lord is. So all hail Lord it's me. All hail Lord Leighton Hightower, the voice of Old Town, Lord of the Port, Lord of Hightower, defender of the Citadel, and the beacon of the South. All hail. So that is me. So just to clarify, ladies and gentlemen, I have put 78 hours into Crusader Kings 2, specifically the Game of Thrones mod. By no means am I an expert at this game, because this game, it's going to take years to master it and figuring out what's going on. And I've watched other people play this, and there's a lot of people that are better than me. I get a bit too hectic and crazy in this game and start doing silly things when I should be calmer and try to keep hold of my realm. So if there are any Crusader King 2 Game of Thrones fans out there watching this, please in the comments below, hey, leave some advice and help me out. I can always do with some more tips, because I find that everything starts well when I start as my first character, but as soon as I die, I will play as one of my children, and that's when things start getting chaotic for me, is when I start playing with the children. I don't kind of prepare for my death, which is a big part of this game. You've kind of got to prepare your dynasty for when you die. And the other thing as well is that typically when you start the game, when you play the Game of Thrones ones, you get all these great traits and stuff like that, and like maybe your children, it takes a lot to get these traits over the years, and sometimes it won't be that easy for your children to get them, so you'll start as a lesser character. So this is the main navigation screen of Game of Thrones. Crusader Kings 2 and Game of Thrones, it's kind of the same thing. So this is the main navigation screen. So what we've got over here is, this is us. So we're going to have a look at us, and here we are. So wow, I have got a lot of children, Jesus. So this is me. This is my liege, so this is the person I report to, the Lord Paramount Mace of the Reach. He's got an opinion. my opinion of him is 55. I like the guy. His opinion me is plus 47. He likes me as well, but I want him to like me more, because if he likes me more, he'll help me out and do things for me. My wife is this young lady here, Lady Rhea of Oldtown. She's actually my second, third, fourth. She's my fourth wife. I've had a lot of wives over the years. They've all died of natural deaths. Quite young. Nothing suspicious about that. Interesting enough, you know, a big part of this game is childbirth, obviously, and in this game, sort of when both the men and the women, but particularly women, once they hit past 35 and they're coming up to 40, they ain't giving you any more kids. So it's quite common for the wives to get thrown away. This game is quite brutal like that, and I do find it funny that they all died around about 35 and 45 and 39. They all died quite young, really young. So yeah, something dodgy's going on there. But actually, I'm not actually properly playing as this guy at the moment, because he is incapable or non-human. So what that means is that I think it's when you hit the age of 69 or 66, basically the game goes, you're too old to play. Like, the people will not accept a ruler of that age. So your regent's can be in charge of you. So my heir and regent are the same person, Balor Blightsmith. So as soon as we die, we're going to play as Balor. This is why none of my stats here are all empty, and these are the traits and stuff I've got. So we got over here, we've got our family. So my father's dead. He was killed by a rabble. Fair enough. Don't know who my mother was. Interesting. And my grandparents are both dead as well. Died of natural causes. But I've got a lot of children, and a lot of children means that when I die and Balor takes over, there is going to be a lot of fighting potentially between all of these lot for my claim. I also had a half brother who died as well. He died at the age of 7. He was killed by the rabble. Oh, on the 5th of May 8238. 5th of May 8238. They both died on the same day. Oh. Then I've got my vassals. So just going to go over here and change the map to, which one is it? I always get confused. Not dynasties. Revolt risk. Opinion. Direct vassals. Republic train zones. These are your regions. These are your high lordships. Economy. Cultures. Religion. Diplomatic relations. Independent realms. Here's direct vassals is the one I want to be on, because that will kind of show my area. So there's Oldtown. That's what I'm in charge of. And these are my regions. So my vassals would be the lords and ladies of these areas here. There might be also some castles or cities that I've built in these regions that are technically mine, and they have them as well. So luckily enough, all my vassals seem to really like me, so they're all paying me gold. Now these two here aren't paying me gold. The reason why is because they are septons, so they're kind of like bishops, so they don't get any gold. They don't pay me any gold because they pay it all straight to the church, so I get none of that. Then what I've got is I've got my court. So these are characters that are residing at my court. So the court mainly consists of various unlanded nobles, but also councillors who can be landed vassals, imprisoned characters, and children being tutored by one of the councils. So luckily enough, all my court likes me, apart from is that my wife who doesn't like me actually? Yep, Lady Rhea of Oldtown. My wife does not like me for personal diplomacy reasons. Fair enough. So we're not having any more children. My son's there, a lot of my kids are there and whatnot. And then I've got my allies. So my allies are my son-in-law, so he must be married off to my daughter. My father-in-law, so my wife's father. My Leighton's son's Baylor's brother-in-law, and Leighton's son-in-law. So basically, if I ever get into a war or sticky situation, these guys might come and help me out. So my son-in-law is actually from the free city of Lys. Wow. He rules the free city of Lys. Is that my... Yeah, his wife's my daughter. Damn, my daughter done well for herself. So yeah, she's sort of ruling... Is she ruling over this area? Has she got a title? She hasn't got a title. So, I'm intrigued. So, if he was to die, his heir would be Syrio Omen. So that's one of his children. And none of these are my children, are they? No. So I must be I'm his second wife. Well, she's his second wife. So one of the things that I'm going to probably be doing throughout this game is I want these two to have a kid, and then I want to kill these three, so that a child of my dynasty, because it's of my bloodline, will be ruler of Lys, which will be very good for the dynasty. The Hightowers will rule. And this is the problem. I start playing this game and I get well too ambitious into it. I do apologise, sorry. So what else do we want to show you before we get into it? So that's my letters and abroad. We've got my council up here. So my council are the people who are in charge of, who do little things for me. So they can all do different things. So first up, we're going to get these guys to do some things. So first up, we've got my Castilian. Okay, so it's got a stewardship scale of 15. Now I wonder if there's anyone better to do stewardship in my town. No, there's not. 15's quite a bit of a, it's sort of a slightly average number. I want, you want people pushing the 20s basically. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Castilian. What are you going to do? I'm going to get you to, let's oversee a province. You can keep care of my area. Just to be clear, why that area came up green and the rest come up black, because although I am High Lord of these areas, this is actually the land I own. So my titles are, I've got the High Lordship of Old Town, which is this whole area here, and I've also got the Lordship of Old Town, which is that little bit there. So with the High Lordship of Old Town, there's also a thing called de jure, and what de jure means is it shows the areas that are traditionally they're ancient and traditional areas that are owned by certain families and certain people. So, de jure, I am a member of the Reach, which is a member of the Kingdom of the Iron Thrones. Because we're not in de jure at the moment, the Reach isn't actually technically part of the Iron Throne at the moment, so I just report straight to there. So I report straight to Mace Tyrell. Oh, of course, because the Tyrells are part of in this war at the moment, aren't they? Yeah. And there's old Mace Tyrell there. And he's my son-in-law. And my daughter is married to him. Yes. So are these children? Yep, my grandchildren are going to be the paramount of the Reach. This is a good family I'm playing as. We like late in the old. So that means hopefully we'll be able to get some help in future playthroughs. Well, as we carry on, because we're all going to be related. The only thing is, though, you'll notice this, is that it was a normal marriage, which does, however, mean that these children aren't part of my bloodline. If it was what's called a matrilineal marriage, where basically what that means is that the children are of the wife's bloodline. These are unfortunately not of my bloodline, so they're not part of my dynasty, but they are relations, so they might help us out a little bit. And this is the thing, like, I just want to, where is she? Just want to go back to this. Unfortunately, if he was to die in mysterious circumstances, for example, or in war or combat, the heir is going to be my grandson. Unfortunately, my daughter won't take over, which would have been nice. We could perhaps, because we don't own that area, we can't change the laws. You can kind of change the laws of succession. So then we've got next up, oh sorry, I was going to finish off doing our council. So we have got here Humphrey Hightower. He is our justiciar. So he's advised on matters of diplomacy. So what we want to get him to do, we could get him to improve diplomatic relations. We get him to fabricate a claim on a land. We get him to sow some dissent. Well, what I want him to do is, I want one of these areas up here. Which one do I want? I think I want this one. I think I want me some Northcross. So let's have a look at Northcross, the Lordship of Northcross. De jure, yep, it's the same as us. Yeah, so I think we're going to go for Northcross. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send him over there and go, hey, go fabricate me some claims. So, how's that going to work? Is that yearly, there's a 16% chance yearly that a claim will be fabricated. So, go fabricate a claim over there. So then we've got Master of My Arms, who's kind of like my general. What I think I'm going to get him to do, have I got any young children? No, all my children are of age, so there's no point getting him to train the kids. I'm going to get him to train the troops. Let's get the men in order, just in case we get called into battle. Then we've got my treasurer. So what I can do is I get to collect some taxes or oversee some construction. So I think we're going to get to collect some taxes in Old Town. And I've got my Septon. It's kind of like no, sorry. Got my Spy Master over here. Now this is a really good and interesting one to do. So what he can do is I can get him to scheme. So I can get him to discourage vassals from associating with factions or recruit new members for my own. I can get him to build a spy network. So have your Spy Master focus attention on local nobles in the county, increasing the likelihood of intriguing events against them. Or I can sabotage their economy. There's a chance of him getting discovered. Corruption uncovered. And scheme. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to get him to sabotage the North Cross economy. So hopefully the peasants will get annoyed at their lords, and it'll make it easier for us to conquer this area. And then our Meister. We can't actually get him to do anything. He's just sort of there being the Meister. And then we got our Septon, who's sort of our Bishop Priest we spoke about earlier. I'm going to get him to perform some charity, because it's always good to keep the peasants in order. Okay, so then we got laws. So once a game, well, kind of, how do you explain this? Right, you can change the laws. I can change the laws only a few times. It sort of takes about 4 to 5 years to change. Now, when you change the laws, it will really annoy a lot of people, particularly if you make them a bit increase them, as it were. But we're going to do that now because I'm probably going to die soon. So I'm going to try and get this law. I'm going to try and get one of these laws through, so that my dynasty is better off. So probably what I'll do is I think I'm going to raise the feudal taxation, which means I'm going to get some more money. You can't change laws during a regency. Oh, because I'm being... Yeah, sorry, because I'm incapable, I can't change the law. Damn. Or will it let me? Let's see. Yes, no, it has actually let me do that. Interesting. So what we've done is we've just tried to change the laws so that we're going to be getting 30% tax off of them as opposed to 10% tax. Now, the only way that can work is the vassals have got to kind of vote on it. So even though they don't like it, because they like me, they're probably going to vote on it because they're probably like, well, our High Lord must be doing this for a reason. And then probably what I'm going to do is when it gets to my son, I'm going to get him to drop the tax down, because then they'll like him. They'll be like, yeah, you changed the tax laws, we appreciate you. So politics 101, ladies and gentlemen. So that's for the laws. Now, technology is not actually part of this game. The Game of Thrones mod, it is part of the main Crusader Kings 2 game. Okay, so then we've got the armies. So here's what we've got here. I want to keep my vassals happy. The reason I want to keep my vassals happy is because then I get to raise their army. So, of my own personal army, I have got 1,894 is the maximum amount of soldiers I can have. And I've got 1,379 unraised. So, what that means is that the more I rest that, basically, we'll get this up to the max number. Now, from my vassals, the maximum they can give is 5,110. And they've got 5,110 ready to go. So I'm not going to press it now, but if I was to press this button, basically it raises up my armies. Or I can raise up individual vassals' armies as well. Combat's not that complex in this game. I don't think so. Some people may disagree. It's kind of just whoever's got the biggest number. There are some slight modifiers and things you can do, but it's not like Total War. But we're not going to raise that now. There's also mercenaries I can hire as well if I ever need some extra hands. So I can hire these guys here. I've also got fleets as well. I've got ships because we're a ship place. So I've got some ships that I can raise. So if I want to go battling across the waters or bring in soldiers via the water. Okay, then we got the intrigue. I can't actually select a plot at the moment. I think it's because I'm incapable. But these can be things that I can do. Now these are also some things which I can do. We've got over here. So I can do things like I can hold a tourney. I can establish a new court, employ a new courtier. So I can go get a new person in my court. I can establish a household guard. I can commit suicide, which I might do. We'll get to that in a minute. I can ask the Iron Bank for a loan. I can take a loan off a vassal. I can delegate the granting of honorary titles. So I can just go, look, you can give out titles to people. Titles make people like you. I've got the White Book, so I can see read the deeds of every member who's ever lived. I can see the owners of the Valerian Blade, so we can see who's got Valerian steel these days. So these are the list of the people who've got Valerian steel. And then I want to see the dragons. So where are the dragons at the moment? Who's got dragons? So there's one person with no dragon riders. This guy, Pureborn Mathis II of Qarth, has apparently got untamed dragons and wild dragons. No one knows of any dragon eggs yet. He's got dragons? Interesting. If you've got dragons, you can, you know, makes combat obviously a lot easier. Let's go back to intrigue. Let's go click that off. Of course, show me people who won tourneys that happen every now and then. And also, if there's any blood feuds going on. Is there any blood feuds? No house has a blood feud with the Hightower. Sweet. And we can also just see our High Council. So that's all the people there. So that's the High Council. That's the people who are in charge of the Iron Throne. So we've got there some character note. We've got there's Tyrion, the Imp. There's Cersei. Looks like her actually. There's Littlefinger. There's Balon Swan. There's Joffrey. All children look the same until they reach of age, which I think is about 16, and then they get their own character portraits. There's Queen Sansa. And there's Vaz. And finally, Grandmaster Pycelle. So this is what I like about this game as well, actually, is just the detail that's gone into it. So if I go to... like, they've really captured the characters. So if we check out Joffrey here, Joffrey's traits are... he's attractive, apparently. Which is true, because Sansa was very attracted to him. He's cruel, he's a craven, and he's proud. He hasn't got a lot because he's a child. You develop as you go along. So Cersei, she's got a lot of traits here. She's a flamboyant schemer. True. She's a twin. Yep. She's attractive. Yep. She's widowed. Yep. She's greedy. Yep. Proud. I'm not even going to say yep anymore because these are all right. Envious. Deceitful. Gregarious. Ambitious. She's rough. And she's arbitrary. So yep. It pretty much sums up all the characters quite well. So let's go back. There's no factions in Hightower at the moment. Factions start. There could be things like, oh, we want to get rid of the Lord of Hightower, or we might be like, hey, we love the Lord of Hightower. And then there's the religion. Religion is a bit of a part of this game, not too much as compared to the main game. So let's have a look here. So the following sons do not have any actual land. So I don't know if I've got any land I can give them. Let's have a look. Can I give you land? No, I've got no land to give you. Sorry, mate. I can give you an honorary title, though. I can make you my master of the horse, master of the hunt. All these kind of things here. And these things will make them like me a little bit more. Which is nice. But I think my children all love me anyway. And I'm probably going to kill myself. So, shall we do that? Let's start the game. We'll start the time. And we'll see what happens. I can kill myself because I've got depression. The only thing I was worried about, if that kind of puts a stain on my family, if I kill myself, should I just let myself die by natural causes? I don't know. Anyway, let's start and see how it goes. Okay, so we started the game, and we got our first message come up. We've got an incompetent military rule happen to us. Yes, we do, because I'm severely hurt. And Lady Arind has founded the Liege Loyalist faction. So let's go check out the factions. So yeah, there's a faction in the Reach that people who are loyal to the Liege. Ah, hello. I have decided to institute the High Realm Authority law in the Reach. Your status as a de jure vassal entitles you to vote on this matter. So what does High Realm Authority actually mean? Let's have a look here.